Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. In my last video I showed you the Armaf Odyssey Tyrant, a fragrance that turned out to be somewhat of a disappointment for me. So today I'm going to show you the other member of the Odyssey line, new member of the Odyssey line that I acquired along with Tyrant, the Odyssey Aqua edition. So let's see if this fragrance, the Aqua edition, will actually make up for the disappointment that the Tyrant turned out to be. The packaging of the Odyssey Aqua edition is exactly the same as with the other members of the Odyssey line. Exactly the same shape and dimensions of the actual box. I really like the color combination of this particular box. You know, got this light blue color along with some silver and white elements. You got the name of the fragrance on the front, the Odyssey Aqua edition, along with some Armaf and Sterling logos on the other parts of the box. And then on the bottom there's a production date. In this case it's February of 2023, and it's also made in the UAE again. Not a bottle made in France, but rather in the United Arab Emirates. And then this is the bottle design, exactly the same as with the other members of the Odyssey line, exactly the same goofy design with that strange looking cap made out of plastic, but it's a snug fit. On the front you got the name of the fragrance along again with the production date on the back, again February of 2023. And to be honest, I really like the coloring of the bottle, the coloring combination, this something in between green and blue color with those white and silver elements. Nice looking, at least color wise, bottle. The note breakdown of the Aqua edition, Odyssey Aqua edition, reads the following. The top notes are Artemisia, orange, and grapefruit. The middle notes are lavender and mint, and the base notes are ambroxan, patchouli, and cypress. I'll show you the spray in action, and I'll tell you what I think about this fragrance scent-wise. The sprayer is very good, like with the Tyrant as well. Now, let me tell you this fragrance has a very strong opening, really strong. Now I get a hint of that grapefruit, in fact not a hint, sort of a nice amount of grapefruit in the opening of this fragrance. I get some orange, a little bit of an orange, but it's like a bitter orange note, not like a sweet orange note. And there's definitely some green notes in the opening of this fragrance. I also get a touch of that mint. It's not very minty, but the mint is definitely there. And all in all, that's the first probably like 30 seconds to 1 minute are quite enjoyable of this fragrance. But then after 1 minute passes, the green note starts to kick in, and they really turn out really turn this scent from like this slightly fresh and sweet opening into a very sort of a bitter green opening, and then early dry down or mid dry down. It becomes really bitter to my nose, really strong on the green notes, and quite unpleasant, to be honest. So the first 30 seconds to 1 minute are nice, and then the scent becomes really unpleasant to my nose, very strong on the green notes and that bitterness that you get out of them. Now when the fragrance starts to enter its dry down, maybe like an hour and a half later, some of that bitterness and greenness starts to go away. Some new sweetness is introduced to the fragrance, and it becomes somewhat enjoyable, but really at least I have to go through that 1.5 hours of the opening before I actually start to enjoy this fragrance. So it's a very interesting scent, at least to my nose and to my senses. I really enjoy the first 1 minute of this fragrance, the early opening, and then I really need to somehow skip the mid dry down before I start to smell the late dry down of the fragrance, so I can enjoy it again. Now the Odyssey Aqua edition gets compared a lot to Invictus Platinum from Paco Rabanne. And I'll tell you that there's definitely some similarities between the two fragrances, but I would say no more than 50 to 60%. Invictus Platinum is a lot sweeter, it's blended a lot better, which of course is to be expected because that's a highly priced designer fragrance, whereas this is a Middle Eastern cheapie. But still, the quality difference is really big in my opinion between the two fragrances. And also Invictus Platinum is a lot sweeter and less green and bitter compared to Odyssey Aqua. So if you're looking for this, because this can be a replacement for Invictus Platinum, then I would say that this is not the way to go, definitely. Now, when we talk about the performance of the Odyssey Aqua, it's been a decent performance so far in my testing. I get about 7 hours of performance on my skin, with pretty strong projection in the first about hour and a half. Unfortunately, that's the most unenjoyable part of the scent when it's actually projecting really hard. So performance-wise, the Odyssey Aqua is slightly above average, or let's call it a relatively good performer. Price-wise, I paid about $25, the equivalent of $25 in order to acquire the Odyssey Aqua Edition, which again is in line with the other members of the Odyssey line, and it's a normal price for this fragrance. And so on to my final thoughts about the Odyssey Aqua from the House of Armaf. Now, I acquired the Aqua and the Tyrant Special Edition at the same time, and the Tyrant was actually the first fragrance that I tried and tested. And it turned out to be somewhat of a disappointment for me because in my opinion, it's not a great replacement or alternative to Bulgari's Tiger, as some people were claiming it to be. But still, it has somewhat of a quality to it. When I was opening up the bottle of the box of the Odyssey Aqua, I had high hopes for this one, and unfortunately this turned out to be even a bigger disappointment. I don't enjoy the scent, especially in the opening and sort of a mid-dry down. It's kind of off-putting, even not only unenjoyable for me. The performance isn't great, and also this, in my mind, is not at all be a replacement or alternative to Invictus Platinum from Paco Rabanne. So in today's video, I showed you the Odyssey Aqua from the House of Armaf. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like. So I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. I hope that everybody stays safe, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.